everyone, welcome back to Vigor Check. I'm Brad here, joined with Schmitto. I call him Josh most of the time. And today we're going with the top 10 monsters we want to see back into the game with Wilds coming out. These are the main monsters we've either seen or Josh has fought in the previous games. And I'll let him start off the list.
Yeah, I'm going to start immediately with Zandos as my number one. Now, anyone who's played some of the older games, you know what Zandos is all about. He is half frog, half shark. He has three crazy forms. His base form being his standard looking frog shark form. Then when he gets a little angry, he'll throw out this ice armor with a crazy spike on the front. Oh my god, it looks so cool. I absolutely love that he's so unique. And then just out of nowhere, the guy just decides to puff up like a balloon and bounce everywhere. And it's so goofy and silly. And what makes him awesome is, first of all, I love sharks. Everyone loves sharks. They're just cool. He's a cool monster in general, like, no pun intended, he's just really awesome. He would fit into Wilds really nicely, as we know there's probably going to be a snow region because of the snow setting and the fact we have an ice switch axe in one of the trailers. I just think Zandos is one of those guys that's not gotten a lot of love, and he really needs it because he's a lot of people's favourite monster, including mine. And I just think he needs to show up again, especially because he was cooked out a rise with his juvenile forms as Zamites showing up. I just think he should be there, and yeah, he just has to be there. He just has to be there. Do you want to take it away with number two?
So this one is, before we start, very, very unlikely, and it's Gogmazios. And the reason why I'm putting this on the list is because a friend of mine loves this monster, and one day came to wanted to show it. And after seeing the sheer size of it, the absolute like a dark theme regarding it, with the dragon sticking out the back, and how it can use it to try and attack the hunter in the fight. How at some point in the hunt you're sat on the high walls to get into its face, and as it gets slower, at some point it starts on revealing these massive wings it has and starts flying as well. I feel like it captures a sense of an actual predator in a elder dragon, where it's already consuming, it's taking a dragon into the body. I've heard it sticks other hunters' weapons as well, if I'm not mistaken. So seeing it start flying later in the hunt, I think will be definitely, it will be an experience. It's you never know, it might drop a nuke, it might start getting a lot faster, a bit more aggressive, and I'll be really interested to see how they work with it in Wilds.
I'm going to throw number three out there with Nerella. Now, Nerella is a monster that I first experienced in Generations Ultimate, and where do I start? First of all, one of the only snake wyverns to ever exist. The fact that this monster's so damn huge and so low rank for what it is, throwing out scales to create sonic shockwaves, coiling around the player so it can paralyze you. There's just nothing like this monster, and I just think his color scheme's awesome. The water variant he has in another game is also kind of cool, but the base variant just does it for me, and I think he would fit the Windward Plains so beautifully. They need to get Nerella back. I'm not too hopeful that he will show up in Wilds, at least base Wilds, but I'd love to see him as a Master Rank update, 100%. If you want to go ahead and take it away with number four.
So for number four, this is a monster I came across while going through the wiki for other monsters, and it was Tetsucabra. And originally when I first saw him, his icon didn't exactly interest me, but somehow I started just clicking through the monsters and looking at his actual physical design, the way his body is scaled, where his head is massive and those massive jaws with the tusks sticking out the bottom. I was kind of interested in the monster because I didn't know how it would attack. So I looked at some gameplay and seeing how we can put rocks up and then they'll fall back down and explode, and other times you're able to pick up rocks with his tusk and dig out the ground, and then at some point slam it into the ground and break it as well. We've had a similar monster. The only experience I've had is Kuliaku, but that rock was tiny and you could most of the time knock it out of his hand. And even then, I think it felt kind of a bit more annoying if your weapon bounced off of it. It didn't, Kulu didn't exactly use it fully. But kind of seeing it stuck in its, by its tusk and it's swinging around, slamming into the hunter up, putting up a rock wall to kind of block anything from, I think, ranged weapons, or have it, if they forget that would drop down, have it drop on and explode. I think definitely be a very cool fight. And I don't know exactly which habitat it would have in Wilds, from the oil region, the forest, the Windward Plains, but I would definitely be interested to see where they would put it.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and jump on number 5. Just before I do that, as someone who's fought Tetsucabra, I think that he would be perfect in the forest, and yeah, Tetsu's awesome. Tetsu's got so much going for him, in just so many ways, and for a really early game monster, I think he nails it. So yeah, I would love to see Tetsu as well in that Scarlet Forest, especially because there was a baby version in Rise, again, that the guy was sat on in the Gathering Hub. I just want to see the full-grown one. That was what that was, yeah. Okay, so with number 5, it's an obvious one, guys. Lagiacrus. Everyone wants Lagiacrus. What do I need to say? Like, Lightning, Crocodile, not Elder Dragon, but he might as well be. He's that damn cool. He's just, I mean, the excuse that people make for him not coming back is the fact that, you know, he doesn't fit in the water. And I can kind of see why people would say that. Like we don't have water combat anymore. So, like, if you can't put him in the water that exists in the game, then why would we bring him back? But, you know, I think it's a silly excuse. You look at, like, Gyarados and stuff, they have them swimming in the ground. They could do something like that to make it work. I mean, if you look at the trailers for Wilds, we have Uthaduna swimming out in the distance, coming back in and crashing and making big waves for us to dodge. Lagiacrus can do that too, and I think they can make it work. And we've seen Tokada-san, who is one of the... he's the game director. He says his favorite monster of all time is Lagiacrus, and he wants Lagiacrus back immediately as soon as he can. And they tried to put him in World, but it didn't work because of the skeleton. Now we know that they have Valahara working. Why can't we get Lagiacrus? I think we should. And with that, I'm going to pass you on to number 6.
So for number 6 is not a monster I haven't fought, but I've heard a lot about, and it's Seltus Queen. And kind of just looking at the design of the massive tank Scorpion, you know, using the massive stinger, I think looks really cool. I haven't fought anything that looks like a Scorpion yet. I've fought the Crab, which is kind of the closest thing I think I can say towards it. But kind of watching some of the fights, watching it, you know, I called in Seltus to fight with it, and at some point kind of sticking it onto itself to gain wings and start flying. It was really cool watching how the monsters come together and using it's slightly, and I use it very loosely, remind me of Alpha Doshoguma going with the pack and kind of going together. And then especially seeing it eat the Seltus when it was low health, that was like really cool. I think I definitely want to see it. I think I'll probably again be in the forest region, just from how I've seen the monster look, with, you know, like a lot of green, so I think it'll be used to camouflage. But I'll pass it on back to you, Josh.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, I'd love to see Seltus Queen too, dude. My next one is Agnacta. Now, this is another fan favorite that, unfortunately, that terrible monster Levasioth decided to replace in World because they couldn't get Leviathan bodies working. But Agnacta is known as the, you know, the double clack laser boy. He is the one that pioneered the hardening lava armor, and he's one of just the coolest looking monsters, in my opinion, of all time, with his variant being Glacial Agnacta, who is just as cool, if not a little cooler. There's nothing wrong with this monster in any way. And again, in Rise, we got the juvenile versions, we didn't get the adult. It's like they're giving me all my favorite monsters, but just saying, nah, you just get the babies, you don't get the real ones. And it really annoys me, because I want the proper ones, dude, and it's a shame because those could have really contributed to the game. And Agnacta, I just want to get absolutely destroyed by the laser beam again. It's hilarious. Every time he pops out the ground, you hear a clack and you just know you're dead. And I think that's something to look forward to, and hopefully they can throw him in the oil well basin, I think. We'll see. Passing it back over to you, dude.
Yeah, so this one is a much newer monster that was introduced in the Sunbreak DLC. But I still want to see him again, or maybe even just a variant of him, doesn't have to have the base variant. But Lunagron, I think, is definitely one of my favorite design monsters. When I first saw it, the cutscene, like, it's like this muscular, you know, very blue body, you know, in the ice area. And then watching it stand up and the claws grow and seeing actual werewolf style monster, I fell in love with it immediately. And then going into the hunt, watching it, you know, go from, you know, on all 4 legs, you know, jumping around, being quite fast and aggressive, and then that being, you know, pushed to the next level as it stands up on 2 legs. When it goes into werewolf mode, the claws growing and getting much more aggressive, and the howl that it has being absolutely amazing. I think easily from Sunbreak is my favorite monster, like one of my favorites, because it was just such a nice fight. I even remember some of the icy mist come off as it's transforming. It was just so good. I loved every single part of that fight. I really do hope we get like maybe a Blood Moon variant. That'd be really nice to work on its I guess subspecies. But yeah, and next one's your last one, I believe, Josh.
It is my last one, and my last one is going to also be the winner of the most stupid monster name of all time, Nibblesnarf. It is a fantastic monster. It's a desert monster that can just suck in all this air through its gills and through its vents on the side with this giant mouth, and then just blast sand at you. It can be, fun fact, if you I believe if you stagger it while it's like kind of sat in the ground, you can use a fishing rod to fish it out of the sand and then flop it on its back. And I think that's such a cool, unique mechanic that no other monster's ever done. I really just enjoy the design of it, where it's basically just all mouth. It's a big old salamander that's all mouth. There's no other monster like it, and I think it would fit perfectly into Wilds given a reboot. So I'd really like to see it. And with that, dude, I'm going to pass you on to the last one before we do the outro.
So this very last one is at the very bottom of the reasons, because I don't know how I felt about it in World, going back to our tier list video regarding how we rank the monster, and it's Kolvtorov. And the reason why I bring this up is because while I didn't like the siege version, you know, like breaking its parts to slowly get me to, you know, collecting tracks using the cannons, whatnot, while I walked around doing some damage later on, the event fight I loved to bits. It felt threatening, it used its body really well. The howl that monster has, completely separate from the quest itself, is one of my favorites as well. It does sound like a squeaking door slightly, but I think like it fits well. The horns look beautiful. The mantle, I really like the fact that, you know, the entirely gold Empress type monster. But one thing that really upset me about the monsters was the weapons. How they played such a big part in World, bringing with the Kjar weapons, bringing their critical element skill built in, having such high elemental damage, and even pretty good affinity, and, you know, leading the way for Elatrium builds, where they can, you know, absolutely demolish that elemental check pretty quickly by themselves with the health regen and some of the element attack up augments. So what I would definitely want to see is, instead of those slap-on variant weapons, and in a game where element kind of sucked ass other than a very select few weapons, I want to see how those weapons would perform and look in a Wilds environment, where I feel like the, you know, element would definitely be a lot better following what happened in Rise. Maybe they can put it in line with raw damage, and not have like seeing a lot better designed weapons, because I feel like with how Kolv looked, they had such good potential for beautiful weaponry, and it felt very basic. It looked kind of like the eye entry with a few things added on, and I wasn't exactly happy to see it. Kind of did put me off from the weapons. But I think that's it for the list.
Yeah, hopefully you guys agree with most of our list. These are just hopeful thoughts. It's not saying that any of these are going to be in there. We've tried our best to avoid leaks, so these are just pure speculation. Some of them more plausible than others, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys also can let us know what you guys want to see in the game, because we always are open to more ideas and concepts, because we love to just hear about Monster Hunter. So go ahead, let us know in the comments what monster you guys want to see, and with that, I think we'll see you guys tomorrow for the next video. This has been me, Schmidt, Breads, and I'll see you guys later in a bit.
Bye bye.